Hi there, so when you first turn on this machine, you'll have spotted the message reminding you to do a warm-up before your workout, but you might not know what warm-up to do depending on the session you have planned. So this one is the 10-minute warm-up, and it's really here for those that are about to do quite a tough workout ahead, okay? Not a time trial. If you're going max intensity, I recommend the 20-minute warm-up probably, but this 10 minutes is a good cover-all for hard workouts planned, all right? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to spend the first 8 minutes rowing at a mixture of 20 strokes a minute and a light intensity and an ever-increasing stroke rate and pace. We back down to 20 strokes a minute again, and then we increase and back down to 20, we increase back down to 20. Hopefully that makes sense. And then we're going to spend 2 minutes doing a little bit of drill work just to make sure your body's nicely opened up and regenerate some ATP before the main workout you have planned ahead, all right? Hopefully that sounds okay. So we have to get our machine set up first, and that really means resistance. Now I want you to find a resistance setting where you get a nice connection to the machine. You can feel the weight of the machine through your arms, but it doesn't feel like you're having to heave against it, okay? If you find you're having to fight against it, it's too tough, and it's not going to be a warm-up, it's going to be a proper workout, and that's not what we're aiming for. At the same time, don't make it too light, okay? If it's like rowing through air, there's no point in that either. A good example is that I will do like a low intensity 30-minute row at resistance of 10 to 12. This warm-up, I've got it set to 6, okay? So that hopefully gives you a good idea, okay? If you're in a concept 2, you set your drag factor to wherever you usually set it. If you don't know where to set it, set your lever to right about 5, because too high is the problem, too low isn't the problem. And then after this video, go read up on drag factor, all right? And then next up, we have to set our foot stretcher height. And what I recommend as a starting point here is that you set it to a height where the strap will cover the bottom lace on your shoe, okay? And then you can adjust from there, but this will give you the right kind of starting point for flexibility as you start your stroke. Talking of starting the stroke, we are going to begin with an intensity just as though you were standing up from a squat, okay? I don't want you to push too hard with the legs. I don't want you to pull in too hard with the arms. I just want your body to start moving for kind of the first minute of this warm-up, and then I'll talk about increasing intensity after that, okay? You ready? I hope so, because we're going to go in 3, 2, 1, let's begin. So really, this is just about getting your body moving, and primarily it's about kind of getting this rock on your hips correct. So what you want to do is rock forwards into the front of the machine, and then at the back of the stroke, rock backwards. So you're really going from a 1 o'clock lean into the front to an 11 o'clock lean at the back of the stroke. And this opening of the hips is really important for the first minute of the stroke. Ideally, you want to make sure your arms are nice and straight at the front of the stroke too, and you only pull into a finish at the back. And you also want to make sure you have a good posture sitting up, and you don't want your sit bone tucked underneath your backside, okay? Nice, good posture. And then after this stroke, I want you to push just a little bit harder with the legs. Okay, so keep it at 20 strokes a minute, but just push harder with the legs. And what you're looking for is to find an intensity where you can feel your breathing rate increase, you can feel your heart rate beginning to increase, but it doesn't feel like hard work. A good example used for this is that if you can still speak or sing while you're working out, then that's the proper low intensity workout. As long as, of course, you know you're working out. Hopefully that makes sense. And then I want you to remember the pace that you are rowing at right now, because this is going to come in handy every time I say back off the pace over the next few minutes, okay? Because in 2 more strokes, we're going to increase to 22 strokes a minute. You ready? Let's go. So just push harder with the legs a tiny bit, okay? This isn't about absolutely powering into the machine. I just want you to push a little harder, and what that will do is give you a slightly faster drive speed. And as a result, you should go up to 22 strokes a minute and see you're rowing a tiny bit faster. Let's take 1 more stroke and then back down to 20 strokes a minute again. And you remember the pace that I said when we were doing the you can still talk and sing pace? That's where I want you to row. until the next increase, okay? And this is all we're gonna do. We're gonna keep increasing pace and then returning to this 20 strokes a minute pace again. So 2 more strokes, 1, 2, and now we're going up to 24 strokes a minute. So push a little harder still, and you should see your pace goes up as well as your stroke rate. The good thing about 24 strokes a minute, of course, is you can just look at the counter, and then at every 5 or 0 or 10, make sure you're taking a stroke, and the ones in between should take care of themselves. 1 more here, back to 20. Okay, so by increasing the rate and pace, you're making your body work a little harder, but by returning to this 20 strokes a minute pace and rate, you're making sure you're not actually getting yourself too tired before your main workout. Okay, 2 more strokes, then we'll go up to 26. You ready? So here we go. So just push with the legs a tiny bit harder still. Get that faster drive speed. And then if you have a slightly faster recovery as well towards the front of the machine, you should see that you're easily up at 26 strokes a minute and rowing a little bit faster still as a result. Take 1 more here, back to 20 strokes a minute and your slow pace. If you have a heart rate monitor on, you'll probably see your heart graph is taking a little bit of a bump each time we go up, but it should hopefully recover nicely in these 30 seconds as well. All right, you know what's coming, don't you? We're going up to 28 after this stroke. You ready? Let's go. So we're just going to keep going, climbing up through rates until we hit 32, and then we'll get ready for the drills that I mentioned for the last 2 minutes. Remember, these higher stroke rates, the handle away is actually the real key here. Let's take 2 more. 1 more. Back to 20 strokes a minute. So the leg drive will give you a faster drive speed, but as long as you get the handle away from your body smoothly and quickly, that will then help you return towards the front of the machine, ready for the next stroke at these high rates. Okay, 1 more, and we're going up to 30 strokes a minute. Here we go. This is another one that's easy from a timer point of view, because you can just count up in 2-second chunks. And by this stage, there'll be pretty much 1 second drive, 1 second recover. But just make sure, get that handle away. Don't hold it into your chest at the back of the stroke. 1 more. Back to 20 strokes a minute. Now we're going to go up to 32 next. Now I know some people aren't used to rowing in these higher rates, but it's good to try and take yourself up there. But it's only 30 seconds. Like I say, a powerful push of the legs and a quick return of the arms might be all it takes. Okay, you ready? 32 strokes a minute for 30 seconds. So drive out, and then the same pace you've pulled the handle in at, you release it at. But you can see, for me, it's nice and fluid. I'm not throwing it away in fear. 1 more here. Okay, so we're going to take 30 seconds just to back off. Let our muscles keep pumping. Give our heart a chance to slowly come down after that 30-second high rate chunk. And then we're going to spend the next 2 minutes doing some drills. Okay, one more stroke. And let's take one foot out, put it on the ground, and then continue rowing. So with this one leg still strapped in, what you'll find is it should be easier to get into that forwards tilt at the front of the machine and to keep your shin in a vertical position, no further forwards. One more here. Let's swap feet. Don't worry if it takes you a while to strap in and out. If you're a clumsy fool like me and miss the strap, and just row with the other leg strapped in. You might be able to hear from the sound of my machine that I'm not putting much intensity in here. This is back to just letting my body move through the positions rather than it being too worried about putting in loads of force. Let's take one more here and then put your foot back in, strap it up, get your legs straight, and we're going to row with our back and arms. So that means swinging over your hips, then pulling in your arms, then releasing your arms and rocking forwards over your hips again. This is a great way to get used to this rock that I talk about, and also good posture rather than being a rolled, slumped posture. Let's take 2 more here. So rock over the hips, pull in the arms, out with the arms, rock forwards. Let's come into the front of the machine with that forwards tilt and arms straight, and just push out with your legs. Okay, so keep those arms straight, keep that forwards tilt, and just push. And what you're doing here is working on the timing between your feet pushing and your hands connecting, but you're also working on getting used to holding your arms straight as you drive. Let's take one more stroke here. Ooh, finish with a flourish. And that's it for our 10-minute warm-up. I hope your heart rate's up a little bit and your breathing rate is up a little bit. Make sure and have a drink and get yourself ready for whatever workout you have planned ahead, which I hope you enjoy. I'll see you in the next video.